Welcome to Real Bass Lessons. Today I want to teach you some jazz architecture for a walking bass line. What I'm talking about is little pieces of melodic phrase, little one-bar phrase, and then we combine them to get two-bar phrases and four bars that you can use to create good-sounding walking bass lines. See, I'm not talking about following the chord changes. No, I'm talking about having a little piece of a little melodic shape that you know the sound of and you can play it and it sounds good over a song. Believe it or not, the real goal is not to develop a concept of how do I just, sort of jam around on chords. No, it's to have a piece of jazz language and then you use them to make jazz phrasing. I'm going to be working today out of this book here. While, by the way, I've had great success with this. This book's only been out about a year or so, and man, it's been working very well with all of my students. While I'm playing out of this book, it's just over D minor, one chord. Matter of fact, that's what the book's called. Walking over one chord, D minor. But it applies to, anything, blues. And of course in jazz, there's 2-5-1. So you can learn little bits of architecture to use over any chord changes, any song, if you will. Today, though, we're just going to do it over the D minor. Listen to this. Cool. Now that's a 4-bar phrase over D minor. Okay? But I've learned those and I teach those as one measure at a time. Let's play with my little play along here, and I'm going to play just the first measure over and over. Get your bass out and start playing with me here, because I'm going to teach you this phrase, and you need to learn it so then we can start to manipulate it and improvise with it. Here's my background, my play along. Listen to this. Yeah. Here's my 1-bar phrase. Obviously, that's simple physically to execute. What we want to do is play it enough with the little play along so we get the feel of that groove and the sound of this over chord changes and even how it sounds against the phrasing. All good jazz music has phrasing, right? 2 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars. We very seldom have 3s and 7s, although sometimes that's the case. But we want to play it and we want to do it so much that it's a piece of our little, our vocabulary. Listen. Ba-do-do-do-dee. Well, that wasn't the right one, was it? Bo-do-dee-do. There it was. It's an octave lower. Let's play a little bit now. Again, this may feel like we're just repeating it over and over. That's because we are. We want to get it internalized, okay? Here it is again. Play with me. Here's the next piece of architecture. Let's do those 2. Second one. Back to the first one. We're alternating. Again. Good, let's stop. Now, obviously, you can see the first 3 notes are the same. The first one, which dropped down here. Second one, we're going just an octave higher. And it does create a little bit of a shape, but it's pretty stable. Here's the third one. Well, that's totally different. Play that with me. Let's play measure 2 and 3. Remember? Here it is. Again. Now you might say, Jim, I'm just sort of going up and down. Well, that's sort of a overall sound of it, but that answer of how do I play over that song, see what? And people say, well, you just sort of jam around on D Dorian. No. But good phrasing does tend to go up and down, doesn't it? It doesn't have to go up and down. It can do all sorts of things to get up and down. But that little 2 bars I put together sounds like it. Listen to it again. Sure. Here's the first 3 measures. Interesting. Because it's the 3rd measure, it sounds like the beginning of the 2nd half, which it is. And it's not like the first one. Here's the 4th measure. Let's play that together. 3, 4. Let's play measure 3 and 4 together. Remember where it starts? 2, 3, 4. Yeah, again. 3, 4. Repeat those 2. While those create a nice little sort of flowing downhill shape, it sounds a little bit unique, or I don't want to say unique, just a little bit unstable because where we're starting. Now, if we put all 4 together, though, it sounds like just a beautiful 4-bar phrase. Listen to this. 3, 4. Is that cool or is that cool? And believe it or not, this is how it's done. I spent years trying to follow the chord changes and trying to learn how to play my modes and stuff. Folks, you learn the songs, you learn what the chord changes sound like, you learn little pieces of architecture, and that's what you use. And again, I repeat, this can be done in blues. I've actually taught, by the way, I've taught lessons on this, and I've taught lessons with architecture in the blues, in the real bass lessons here. You might want to go back and look at those. But sure, this is so you end up having sounds, vocabulary, little phrases that you know the sound of and you know they'll fit because you've listened to the song and this will go there. Then you can create with them. You basically improvise. But when I'm talking to you, I'm improvising, but I'm not using words and stuff that you've never heard. No, I'm using words, sentences, little phrases that you've heard before. Well, that's the same thing in creating good bass lines. Let's play the 4 bars together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat it. Boy, does that feel good or what? Let's do it with our play along. And let's just do it over and over and get it inside you. The goal is to memorize it, internalize it, make it feel good. By the way, some people say, Jim, this gets boring doing the same thing over and over. Well, I don't know good bass players who get bored grooving. No, you just make this thing groove and it'll work perfectly. It'll feel good. Then you start playing it with the musicians and you go, my God, it sounds cool. Why? Because they're doing different things. So it makes your line give the whole thing a different perspective. Let's do it again, or let's do the whole thing together. Here we go. huh? I was thinking in there a bunch of stuff I wanted to tell you, but I only do a certain amount here, obviously. If you'll notice too, there's a couple of measures in here, well, actually there's only one, that it doesn't start on the root. That's a whole nother development when you start getting phrases that begin and more tension sounds. I think what I'll do now is I'll go back and we'll play this, but I'll also add a little solo over the top, and that'll totally change the texture again. Because based on what I'm doing, it'll make your lines, your notes sort of create a different tension and resolution, okay? Let's do that now. So play along with me. Not cool, huh? Did you dig that? I liked it too. You can obviously just solo this yourself if you want. Let's try it again, and let's just, I'll make this a little different solo and make it feel different. And I won't play the bass line this time. You have to play the bass line. Okay, here we go. So get ready. Get into it. Get into it. Work it over and over and over. And then obviously you start manipulating it and making those little phrases fit any way you want, okay? Fired up. Stay after it.